on now, and if there's something on there. I'm sure. There's one in one that's back. It's not even the same. I think we're like, it used to shop Christmas. Well, we're definitely not evergreen.
Chavez, C2. Anybody here on that?
All right, so what you got in front of you is some of our favorite local donut dealers are looking to expand their footprint and build their own building. Wanting to, we submitted it as a full site development. Their goal was to split it into two different phases of development. So we want to submit it as a full site development now, so that way you guys know that the intent is to meet the letter of the law. Certainly,
Thank you very much.
absolutely, thank you.
All right. Next item on the agenda is a rezoning request on Woodbury Highway, map 67P, Route D, parcel 5, with George Garner from R3 to C3. Anybody know that one?
Just because my mother-in-law told me to be here.
Sit down, Mr. Ballard.
So I'm here to listen.
Yeah.
I'm not the developer, I'm not the contractor. Yeah.
So, anyway, all right, and, Brittany, you want to point everybody where they are?
Yeah, so we are, right outside the Dollar General on the very highway across from the rec center. Here is Woodland Street, here is the rec center pool, this is the Dollar General, this is the fire hall. This large, vacant parcel right here. And it is currently zoned R3 for whatever reason, as is a lot of that area. And they are requesting a commercial zone, which is perfectly compliant with our land use plan. It abuts a major highway. So I have no problem with this.
And other commercial, only other commercial property.
Yes, and adjoins adjacent commercial, there is also residential zone property on the rear. And this would remain residential as well, so there will be some increased setbacks for them, during some site development. Given the size of the site, so we got the issue.
Okay, and of course, this is not a rezoning, this is just a recommendation to the board there, all positive and negative, and those who want to make ultimate rezoning decision. Does anybody have any comments, or?
Just curiosity.
It is not, this is a camping road. Postcode. There's a significant variance there that can be considered once or twice.
I'll make a motion to send a positive recommendation to board
Any other discussion? Not all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? No, we'll move on to the positive recommendation. See if it-
Tell you what, well, I've got it out there.
All right, item number 4 is a rezoning request at 207 Rose Street for tennis slack from R3 to R4. Just come up, tell everybody who we are, a little about the property and what that.
So my name is Ryan Swack. I more or less inherited the property from my father, Kenny Swack. He passed away a few years ago, and we've had it for years in the family. I'm just wanting to see about, it was a rental, still is a rental, but I'm just wanting to see about rezoning it, see if I can put some more on there to rent out as well.
How big is it? What did you say?
So, it is 29,000 square feet. It's currently zoned R3 Monkey State, which is our medium density residential, which allows for, one family per 6,000 square foot of lot. And R4, which is what he's requested, you get, 3,000 square foot per family, for multi-family purposes.
versa, even if this board said it was a negative recommendation, we're gonna rezone it. So, I just always try to make sure everybody understands that, on a rezoning request. So with that, does anybody have any questions for Mr. Slack? Brittany?
Also, positive recommendation, to rezone from R3 to R4 to comply with the CA's plan. And the other lots adjacent to it, that's when they're divided into lots.
All right, so we have a motion and a second, to send it a positive recommendation. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, so there, just get with, Brittany or Grace to know when the board meetings are.
I'll post another sign on the property.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, item number 5 is a rezoning request of Conrad, 504 South Spring Street for Marcelo Aguilar from R3 to R4. Anybody here on that? Hey, Brittany. Will you record show?
Okay, so the tax map has not been updated from the previous plat we talked about where they acquired this little bit, from the neighbor. But Marcelo has requested a rezoning from R3 to R4. That same plat we were just looking at, that large lot that fronts Raven Street and South Spring Street with that existing dwelling.
Item number 1.
Yes. So this parcel was located along Raven Street right here. He has requested, zone to go from R3 to R4. It is currently R3 as are most of the adjacent properties. Our land use plan does everything in that area as a whole, plus high density residential. There is some high density, residential already in R4 down here, on Spring Street. It is a significant parcel. So it would be all of this, it'd be lot 1 and lot 2. And lot 2 has 24,000 square feet. And this one, from what I understand, they have a significant remodel on the existing dwelling there. So that dwelling will probably stay. And then different proposed development for that lot 1. But, he did request that lot 1 with the rezoning.
So again, that lot
So-
1 is
So
already.
lot 1 has an existing dwelling,
Right.
and I think they've done a significant remodel of the dwelling. So to my knowledge, the dwelling is going to stay. There will not be any proposed development on lot 1, but for rezoning purposes, we still want to carry the rezoning through for lots 1 and lot 2. So lot 2 is the vacant lot that could potentially have development on sooner rather than later for, compared to lot 1.
We split lot 2 into 2 lots.
So I don't think that there's enough road frontage here on Rayburn Street. There's only 50 foot of road frontage on Rayburn Street, which is the minimum. So they would not be able to do that.
So he doesn't have anything to gain by it. He's on it, really, does he? Am I missing something?
You double the density of a parcel.
You could drive one driveway back and have more request is R3 to R4. Start with zone R3. Land use map there shows R4, or high density is
Yes.
Do we know where the, if you say it's gonna find, the first item on the employment is existing water and sewer on lot 2? Or is that?
It's along the road, the Railroad Street.
Okay, I thought for some reason you thought it was, you said that it was going through lot 2.
There is a 2-inch line on Railroad Street, 6-inch sewer on Railroad Street that comes down to Spring Street.
I don't know, I just thought, I don't know why I thought you said that there was.
So I think usually we state whether or not there's water and sewer in the area, because I think that maybe that was the same case. Yeah, I said, there are existing water and sewer lines along South Spring Street and Railroad Street, frontage in the lot.
There's two water shutoffs,
Oh, is that what?
not one. Is that what you're
Yeah.
talking
Yeah,
about?
but there was one that they didn't know if it was,
Sewer.
clean out or something like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that would just be like a quick verification of water and sewer.
the 2-inch water line leading up to North Fork.
That is, like,
So I'll move to send it forward with positive recommendation. Okay, we have a motion to send it with a positive recommendation, is there a second?
Second.
All right, any other discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Good, we'll go forward with a positive recommendation. Last item on the agenda for business, number 6, is a rezoning request from Hendricks and John, map 68M, to repeat parcel 2 for David and Dennis Lewis from Arcade to Seaford. Anybody here on that? Okay.
Just looking at getting y'all's recommendation, a positive recommendation, very helpful. Rezone.
Okay, so, Greg, you want to tell everybody where we're,
so here is, Olson Court. Here is Eastly Cheryl's Flower Shop. Forgive me, they have lost the name of the business.
So, what goes?
Stone Court
This will be the regular call meeting of Manchester Board of Zoning Appeal. I see all members present. We have no minutes to approve. Next item is approval of the agenda. Everybody has a copy. Are there any changes to the agenda? If not, we have a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Agenda is approved. All right, we're down to the section of comment from citizens. Anybody in the audience is here, wants to make a comment request of Nunnery Royal Trail from Kathy Tunes for a 5-foot variance for an accessory structure in a R2 zone. Anybody on that one? Okay. Appreciate your patience. You've had, plenty of time to watch now.
I'm nervous, I'm going out, but, yeah, kind of had a cheat sheet, I didn't want to be like walking in Walmart and get right there for us. But, I actually built a pergola out the back, I bought 908 Royal Trail in, December 2018. It was in pretty rough shape, so my goal was to go in and help that neighborhood and to help. I like to fix broken things, I don't know how to properly tell y'all about that, but I like to find things that are broken and fix them and make them look better, so that's been my goal there. I kind of completed on the inside, I've had to clean up a lot of cane, a lot of other fencing that was falling down, I got all that done, and I've backed up to all commercial property. It used to be Hardin Signs in Miami, I'm sure y'all are probably all familiar with what that is, now it's True Deal Auto. And it's a body shop and they sell rebuilt title vehicles that they repair. I have a in-ground pool, okay, I have an in-ground pool right here, and I have an 8-foot block wall that comes right here. This one borders, it's pretty much the property line, is where that block wall is, it's 8 foot tall. I have another one that comes right here that borders the neighbor at 906. The property line actually is about 14 to 16 inches over this way. There was actually a marker there, and the neighbor has since had it, I think, resurveyed, and it was right at close to being where it was. I don't know the last time it was surveyed before that. I kind of messed up and went ahead and I built what I thought was just like a Lowe's pergola put in there, because I catch a lot of debris from a lot of trees right here. In fact, I've had a hole in my liner from tree limbs falling. And this catches all the sun, and so, and I can see the back of here over the 8 foot with the tall of his building. And I just wanted to, I put 2 bed swings underneath it, looking for a place just to turn some music on and find some peace. Unbeknownst, I used the block wall, and I should have been 5 foot off. That was my mistake of doing that, not realizing that's what I needed to do. I thought I was putting no more up than like somebody puts up a metal building. I did build a big shop over here to the other side, and I had permit and got everything I needed to do to get that there. residential with commercial all behind me. I got the dealership on one side, Family Storage is on the other side of them, and then a Ascend Credit Union is on the other side. I own those lots here and here.
So I make a motion to grant the variance.
I oppose that.
Okay. What you said, any neighbors mad at you about that?
I didn't say that.
Okay.
No, I said there was something up beside me that caused me not to have peace.
All right.
He just spoke.
Well, tell us about it. And I was getting ready to ask if you had it.
On the one hand, when I built on over this side, it went over the block wall, or it was even pretty much the block wall with that. So to keep the rain and the water from coming inside of it, I picked it up a gutter. I told my neighbor that I was going to build it and have it there. He thought I was over too far because he told me that the block wall was the property line. I told him it was not the property line, but he insisted it was. So he's got his, don't hear, survey, and it shows that it is not the block wall. So I have Brittany's been out, the mayor's been out, everybody's been out and told me I'm good. He at one point told me, I have the text messages, sorry, I'm talking about, that could I let him keep his fence attached to my block wall, because he had a dog. I told him, I have no problem with that, I wouldn't want your dog to do that, as long as you leave me alone about my roof line. I did have him come back, I paid almost $1,000, and had him cut it back, and brought it to the edge of the inside of the block wall, and put a gutter on it. He said he was okay with that at the time. Then, when they get out there, he's calling and telling me they're not cutting enough off. I called Brittany and Troy, had them come out, you know, let's get this resolved now. I'm paying these people to be here to do this. I'm trying to resolve it. And nothing was ever done. They said it was fine. We went with it. Well, now he's the one that has filed that I'm not in compliance on my back. It's not my neighbor behind me. I have a signed piece of paper from a neighbor behind me. In fact, he's willing to sell me, actually, he's gonna give me 5 foot of property that will run all the way down through there if this doesn't work out for me.
Well, let's see, Brittany, was there any other, well, first of all, let's get so we're right on our Robert's rules. We got a motion. Is there a second? We got a motion to grant the variance. Mr. Messer. Right, give it a second. Okay, now we're on the second. Brittany, were there any other, you said it was posted, was there any other complaints or anything received, any questions?
So I did, it's the ad paper, as our municipal code states, there's a sign for yard, it's still there, the brother, the neighbor was just speaking as to the complaint I received.
Our whole neighborhood has people that are on the line. I can show you his building. This is his building. That is this fence, the top of the fence. When he had his built there, he had them, told them that the block wall was the property line. So they measured 5 foot from that block wall.
You don't know what I know.
And
This is a meeting here, so,
here it is with this, how close he is with that, that's the fence. A lot. Mr. Bowman, I don't see the same eye to have it maintaining your, I don't mean that ugly. That I keep mine weeded. I can show you pictures of his backyard, what I try to block. When he built his building, pretty much on top of me, I didn't come up here, I didn't say anything. I built my
issue here, this is needing to get a pay, so, and, Mayor, you want to comment?
So I have spoke to both parties here. The way that Brittany and I went together, so the side, that side there, if you look at the posts, is where the structure starts, just like the foundation. That post is probably 5 feet off the line. Now, you have overhang and some of the things that they were discussing, but it doesn't go over the property of the wall. From what I understand, and somebody can correct me, when you bought the house, the block walls were there.
The bug wall been there for 30, 40 years.
So anyway, so Brittany and I, once everything was surveyed, get it surveyed, right, but the post itself, I think needs an intent of the 5 feet. Where the problem is on the back, she put it next to the block wall, which that's the 5 feet that I think she's asking for a variance for. I'm not.
Correct.
But that's not even on adjacent to his property, that's adjacent.
It is not.
It's not.
It is to the car lot.
There again, there's a lot of back history here. We're gonna take some fault. When we started this process with him, Mr. Bowles, we probably didn't handle it as best we could. I'm just gonna leave that there, because now we're at what really matters. The side, the post itself, that we all agree that's like foundation of a home, is 5 feet off the line. The back is not.
So the request for the variance is on the back side, not on the adjacent.
Right.
Correct.
Probably even close to some of my other, I mean, this house was built in 72 before there was anything on that side, so I'm not for me and him.
Okay. Anybody else have any other?
Would you like to speak to something?
I mean, what I was gonna say, and I was gonna ask that, although you have the people have the opportunity in the comments from citizens to talk about items on the agenda, but, and nobody commented,
Well,
but
I don't have an agenda.
nonetheless, we'll give you just, a brief time to speak real quick if you wanna come up and address the board as to why you oppose the variance request.
To start out with, this has been like a 6-month ongoing thing. I think he was with Troy when I brought in some survey. And he told me twice, he told me twice that over the 6-month period that if I had approved for the property lines before he would even do anything. And when he came out the first time, he didn't even check to see if the permit had been done for that. Anyway. I didn't make enough copies. But if you would read this is my complaint. And I didn't say that putting the gutter would be okay. I said I didn't think it would be an issue. Meaning, if you cut it back where it should be, there wouldn't be a gutter there. Then you said, well,
Remember, now you're talking to the board, not to
okay.
her.
I'm sorry. I told her I think it wouldn't be an issue. And she said, why did you put agreement? And I said, what is the agreement? That you cut it back to what it's supposed to be?
And I guess I'm not trying to hurt that, to make sure we're all talking about the same thing. The question is,
This is when they cut it back.
right,
It was hanging over below,
but her variance request tonight, as I understand it, is as it relates to the south side of her property along that. So I guess that's the question is, if that's what she has on the agenda, speak to why you are opposed to the variance on the south side of the property line, not on the adjacent line between her and, if that makes sense.
okay. So how was it approved that it was okay to be on my side like that? This fence supports the building. it's not even, it looks like it comes together, and there's a piece, you know, like it's pieced together there. It's
And I guess we don't
supported
have
in
that
the wall.
for everybody to see, so I guess first thing we need to do is kind of, maybe you can talk to them and kind of hold it up.
Okay, well, I don't know if you
People-
say,
The people can't, other people can't see. But
They-
again, we're talking about.
this is on my
south
side.
Yeah, but the request is on the, well, the request tonight is on the other, the south
So-
side,
Okay.
right? That's our.
I'm trying to find out why it was approved this way. It's been 6 months, so Troy, I wish you read all of that. You read everything.
And listen, I know you, not that that's for discussion today, that you didn't quite do it correctly, right? And you did the right thing by going and getting the survey, which, you know, in her picture, the post supports her structure. The wall is there because it's always been there, okay?
And it's supported in brick. And there's a gutter hanging there.
No,
There's
no,
like 10,
no, no.
there's,
This right here is not on the fence. This right here was put here so we put a gutter and stuff on here, and it's just the overhang.
that's not even a solid piece of wood there. It's supported, it's
I
supported.
can see daylight under my board. I'm not talking to you, I can see daylight under my
But
board.
when you and I talked, I told you 100% that when this process started, it was done incorrectly. You agree with that, right?
That, you know, it was obviously done incorrectly.
Okay. So when you went and got the survey, right, to prove where the lines are, the pen actually moved over on your line a little bit more.
It's 13 inches off from there, so it's a little bit closer.
So if you take that, you take the block wall, and you take that post, she's over 5 foot on that side. And that's what the code says, right? You have to be 5 foot off the property line. And when I met, with Ms. Stone, I told her the same thing, right? I feel you're good between you and your neighbors because there's over 5 feet from the support,
From that support.
from that support.
But how much of an overhang can you add on a
She can
support?
have all the way over 5 feet if she wants. I mean, why can't she
So-
not
so
control
now-
her property?
So now I've got a fenced-in backyard, it's like a private backyard, so I like to keep it. But for them to maintain their gutter,
They have to get on the roof. If you don't want them on their property, that's her problems to have.
they can't even see if the gutter's clogged.
I'm not gonna argue all that with you, but I'm just saying that that's her problem to fix. But as far as structures and stuff, it is 5 feet off of that line.
Why did Troy let this go on so long?
Sir, I'm not gonna argue those things with you in here. We can do that, me and Brittany and Troy, I'm fine with that. I'm just telling you that the reason they asked you to get a survey is because you got a complaint that it's too close. Once the pins are put in the ground, right, we now agree that this is 5 feet off the property line. The reason she's here tonight is because the back isn't. That's what this board has to determine. Give her a variance, or they're gonna make her move it, okay?
The back of it's actually about a foot over into the other property.
It can't be because the block wall's there. Well, I mean, it's on the other side of the block wall, and we've all agreed that the block wall's been there a long time.
Yeah, but that building is actually, if you look at the end of the back, it extends out into the other property. But that's not my concern, I just really don't wanna have to have, they shouldn't have to maintain a building that comes over my property.
Well, they can't.
And they can. If you don't want her on your property, she can't come on your property. And I think she put the gutter up to create any concern of putting water onto you.
Yeah, but when it gets clogged up, 'cause it's gonna get clogged up, because it's complained a couple of times about trees, you know, dropping stuff on it.
And there again, I can see every bit of that, and I was more concerned about what we did as a city, and I think once you did the survey, it straightened it all out, and that's really what I know.
Just for clarification, how does this affect, I'm not being very more, but I'm just wondering, like, how does it affect your property?
I just don't want water running off onto my property, it's already wet out there.
So you think the building is
It's-
setting water on your property?
Well, the gutters ever get clogged, they're gonna get clogged. My property is about, another thing, this fence, the concrete block is leaning other gets cleaned, or gets clogged up, I don't think anybody's gonna come over there and clean it all right.
No, I think as the mayor said, that's from a maintenance standpoint, that's that'll be her cost to bear.
What is it on the back 5 foot setback?
Well, yeah, we're not here to be argumentative, I think the question is, she's asked for a 5 foot variance on the south side.
Well, I saw the variance sign, so I came in to voice my opinion because I had not heard back from you. You told me to be back with
And we appreciate
you
that.
as well.